Hello everyone, I'm just going to give you a few moments to join us today while I just look at my webinar settings here, make sure that everything is set up correctly, just align myself. I'm just going to quickly fix up my audio. Let me know if you can hear me. Okay, I'm just going to fix my audio quickly. Okay, I'm going to give everyone a few moments to join. Let me know where you're from. Take a moment to sign into YouTube. That way you can actually comment as I go. I try to look at the comments as I go and answer any questions, and it helps me to keep your questions on topic. So take a moment to sign into YouTube and to comment where you're from and what you're hoping to learn. Today we're going to be talking about measuring the success of your marketing campaigns. So it's going to be a value-packed session for you. And I'm going to just take 1 minute and just fix my audio settings. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. And hi, Stella Marie College. Hi, Daniela. Hi, Leanne. Hi, Woodcrest State School. You can all hear me. Great. Okay. So, and feel free to type in where you're from and what you're hoping to learn. Today we're going to be talking about measuring the success of your marketing campaigns. A lot of the reason why we did this webinar is we have a lot of chats with schools on a month-to-month basis, and a few of our schools we tend to overestimate what they can either overestimate or underestimate what their campaigns are doing. But they'll come to us, to see if we can help them with their school's marketing, and they'll say something like, "Oh, we're getting great traffic from our campaigns, but longer term, they're not actually seeing the enrollment growth, and so they feel like their current campaign efforts probably aren't worth it. Like if they switch their ads on or off, it really doesn't make a difference to their enrollments." And so we have helped those schools to deep dive into the numbers to pinpoint exactly what they need to do so that their campaigns actually result in enrollments. So that's what we're going to be focusing on today. The first thing that we want to look at is the quality, long-term, sustainable quality traffic. And so schools can either tend to shoot their campaigns in the foot because they don't understand if the campaign is doing well or not doing well. And so the first thing to look at is quality instead of quantity. So the thing that we want to focus on when we are running our marketing campaigns is not the lowest cost per click. The lowest cost per click isn't a metric that we want to go for. We want to, so for example, if you had to follow the lowest cost per click in Google Ads, you would start having a campaign where you are getting non-commercial intent keywords. You're driving traffic to blog posts and you're getting traffic on non-enrollment pages. That would be the lowest cost per click strategy for a Google Ads campaign. But so in some situations, we recommend going for a pricier keyword that has enrollment intent behind it. It maybe is a more localized person that you are upping the bid to reach that person. But at the end of the day, if you get 50 clicks and 3 enrollments from it, that's better than a campaign that had like 200 clicks and no enrollments and a lot of traffic to blog posts. It looks good in the reports, but long term, someone's going to start asking questions. Another reason why we don't want to have campaigns that focus on a lower cost per click is because, say, for example, in meta ads, conversion optimized campaign clicks are more expensive than a boosted post or traffic ads. And so a lot of our clients get their monthly reports from their previous agencies and they'd say, oh, we got 2,000 clicks on our campaign. Great. They're happy with that. And then they come to us and we do conversion optimized campaigns. And we're going for people that are optimized for enrollment inquiries and tour bookings. We're trying to get people onto your campus, and you pay around $2 per click for one of those clicks. And so in every case, we were able to show that a higher cost per click results in a quality audience. The next thing to look at when your agency gives you your monthly reports is not all clicks are equal. You need to spend some time to actually gauge whether that traffic is quality traffic or not. And so knowing a little bit about your Google Analytics and having some website tracking software on your website where you can actually go and create a heat map was going to help you to look at your traffic and understand, well, is this actually quality traffic that's of people that are interested and able to attend our school? So the quickest way that you can tell if your traffic is quality traffic is by looking at the bounce rate of your campaign. So if you get 2,000 clicks on your campaign and you have a bounce rate of 70% for that traffic, you know that it's not actually quality clicks. There's a lot of diagnosis, and I'll talk about this later in the specific platforms about how to diagnose whether that traffic is actually quality traffic to you. And then the next thing you want to look at is how many people actually converted on your website. And to do that, you'll need to have your conversions set up. So when someone submits an inquiry, they go through to a thank you page. And when someone books a tour, they go through to a thank you page, and then you can see the flow of traffic. So did they come from the ad? Then they visited your enrollments page, they had a look at your fees, and then they booked a tour. So do the numbers on so when your agency sends you a summary of an open day, for example, do the numbers of, okay, this is how much cold traffic we got. This is how many people actually clicked through to book the school tour from our ad. Do not let your agency run ads that are not tracking the conversion tour booking or open event booking or inquiry. And don't let them get away with just saying you got 2,000 clicks for your campaign. Fantastic. Let's call that a day. Okay. So the same goes for SEO. So typically when I speak to people, or I've been in the position when I was working in a school, I'd have people walk into my office and say, hey, we aren't number one for this keyword. And then I'd actually go and do the research and find out that no one's actually, although it sounds like a great keyword, like boys' school in the northern suburbs, sounds like a great keyword, or not. But there's no one actually searching for that traffic, and so don't try to just rank number one for each keyword. Another thing is that what we see in our SEO work with schools when we do the analysis of how these schools are getting their traffic, a lot of these, so a lot of the keywords don't drive traffic, but also there's not a lot of intent for that specific keyword. So a keyword with intent would be something like private schools, Brisbane. A keyword without intent would be something like school fees or private school fees or term dates or those sorts of keywords. And so when you go for those more competitive keywords, it will be very hard for you to come out, straight out of the bat and have a number one ranking. And so you'll find that a lot of your time is being wasted and spent trying to get to that number one position. And you may get there, and then 2 days later, Google will put you back to number 3 or number 4, and then number 2, and then number 1. And you'll see those high competition keywords are very volatile. So what you need to do there is get to the top 3 for the keyword, and then focus on another keyword and get that one to the top 3. And as you start pushing more keywords to the top 3 positions and your website is getting more and more authority, you will find that overall your strategy will start to even out. So a lot of the questions we get are, how can we get to number 1 for this keyword? That's our objective for our SEO. And so we rather look at consistently, are you driving more traffic each month because of your SEO and your keywords and your landing pages? So that's something to think about. So the next thing to look at, so one more thing with SEO is the SEO traffic actually driving enrollments? And so typically, if you go to an agency that's not very good at SEO or doesn't specialize in education marketing, the first thing they're going to recommend to you, no matter how messy your website is, no matter how users are finding your website, they're going to start recommending blog posts, and that because it's easy work for them to do. And so they'll say, okay, great, we'll do one blog post a month that focuses on a specific keyword. And that's a problem for you because one is, a lot of the time when you look at the Google Analytics, go to the analytics of those landing pages, of the blog posts, and then see how much of that traffic actually resulted in enrollment inquiries. And I've done this for a few people on their discovery calls, where I've gone and seen, great, you've spent the last 2 years writing lots of blog posts, and none of that traffic, not one of them has actually submitted a single inquiry for your school. And that's because your SEO strategy has to be targeted towards local families that are able to attend your school. So that's just another thing to think of. So that's how I want you to focus on long-term sustainability rather than the numbers of the cost per click or ranking number 1 on Google, or how many clicks you're getting. So let's take a deep dive into our meta ads reporting. So the first thing that you can do in meta ads, you may get an agency report from your agency, and they may summarize, they pull all the data into other reporting software or provide a summary for you. But the first thing that you need to do, one, you need to own your ad account that your agency is advertising in. And 2 is you can create a report that you can bookmark in your bookmarks tab and access it easily. So this is a good way for you to just click in and go and have a look. You can set up exactly the way you need it, and then you can have a look at how your ads are performing, and you can break it up by ad set and ads. And so it's always a good idea to understand the numbers for yourself and to have a look for yourself on how the numbers are doing. So in the ads in Google, Meta Business Manager, you just go down to the ads reporting tab and it will give you the option to set up your reporting for you. So the first thing that I like to do is to sort out your columns in a logical order that's going to help you to diagnose where the problem is in your ad campaign. So the first thing that you'll want to know when diagnosing a campaign, or the logical order, is my ad serving? So is my ad actually spending the amount, the daily budget every day? If it's not serving, then there may be an audience setup. Then when you so once you've figured out if your ad is serving, you also will want to look at the frequency of how many times people are actually seeing your ad. Then you'll want to know, so okay, yes, Meta's serving my ads. Are people clicking on my ads, or are they just going past it? Or are they actually seeing the ad and clicking on it? So then the next thing you'll want to understand is the clicks and the click-through rate. Be sure here to use the metric called link clicks, not just all clicks. So Meta has, when you see an ad in Meta, there's like a few places that you can um, click. So you can either click on the below image headline, and that will click through to the landing page, or they can click, if it was a carousel ad, for example, they could click to see the next image or the next carousel, or they could click on the image to make the image bigger, or they could click through to your Facebook page. And so all of those count as clicks. And so typically the number of clicks is 2 to 3 times bigger than the number of link clicks on any ad. And so if your agency is just giving you the link clicks number, you probably think that 2 to 3 times more traffic than what is actually going to your website is there. Okay, so remember to make it link clicks. That link clicks is very important. And then the next thing that you'll want to look at is to say, okay, if they are clicking on my ad, are they converting on my landing page? And you'll want to see exactly how many conversions you're getting for your spend. Okay, so once you have this clean layout of your report, and I would analyze about two weeks of traffic at a time. I wouldn't be looking at it on a day-to-day number. Um, wait for maybe analyze segments of audiences of about 5,000 once it's like reached 5,000 people. So if it takes you a week to reach 5,000 people, then analyze a week at a time. Or if it takes you 2 weeks, then 2 weeks at a time. But don't analyze any volume below that, because you may be making decisions on like incomplete data. And there are going to be on days and off days with meta ads. So if you have the problem where your ads are not being served and you are not reaching the right amount of people, it's probably a setup issue in your ad account. If you are getting if your ads are being served but no one is clicking on your ads, then you probably need to look at your ad copy and your ad creative. And so a nice way to do this is, instead of scratching a campaign and starting over, is just to add a new creative and copy it as another ad in the ad set, and to see if that one picks up in a week's time. If you are getting a lot of clicks, but you and people are going to your landing page, you verify that those clicks are actual clicks. It's important that another thing, is that if you have a lot of clicks that are going through to your landing page, but you're not seeing the results from it, it may be possible that you need to look at where your ads are being distributed to. And so have a look at mobile clicks versus desktop clicks, and if one is higher than the other. And then have a look at if your ads are being served in like the video area only, or like extended additional audiences or placements outside of Facebook. Sometimes they try to push. It doesn't happen often anymore, but if you are getting a lot of clicks, and they may be like fake clicks because, say, for example, your ad is showing in a video stream where people are making a lot of mistaken clicks. So try to avoid those. So then the last thing, if you find that you're getting all of this genuine traffic through to your website, but they're just not converting, then you'll know that you need to look at your landing page. And so this will give you, having this data in front of you before your client's the monthly meeting that you have with your agency, will help you to kind of ask the right questions about whether your ad is actually doing well or not. Okay, so what do you need to be asking? What questions do you need to be asking your agency? So yes, are your ads serving? Are people clicking um, your ads? And make sure that you look at the link clicks. The next thing that you want to understand is, how long are people spending on your landing page? So you need people to at least be spending around a minute on your website to be classified as someone who is a potential person that is interested. right? So have a look at how long, and that's very simple to just, well, ask your agency to provide those numbers for you. Can you tell me how long people are spending on the landing page after they click on my ads? And or you can get that in Google Analytics. And then have a look at how many people are converting. And I'll give you some benchmarks to look at there. And then the frequency. So the frequency is depending on the time frame that you have set in your ad report. It's the number of times that people are seeing your ad within that time frame. And so a frequency of once a day is pretty much good for a cold audience. So you don't want people to see your ad more than once a day. And then if you are going for like warm audiences, 2 to 3 times or 3 to 4 times is even fine. But if you find that your frequency is creeping up and you're not getting any conversions for that, then you'll know that you'll need to maybe decrease the audience, the frequency to that audience. So benchmarks that schools should meet. We've looked through all of our history of our schools accounts. So CPM is your cost to reach 1,000 people. So this will tell you how competitive your market is. If you are paying more to reach 1,000 people, that means that there's other organizations that are competing for that same audience. Okay. So your cost to reach 1,000 people should be under $20. And so if it's costing you more than that, you may want to start looking at redefining an audience for you to target. The click-through rate should be above 1% for a cold ad. And also, this is not a hard and fast number because ads can convert with a lower click-through rate. So this will happen in the case where you have a very niche audience that you're going for. Maybe it's special education and you're going for a unique family that has a specific need. Then you'll find that your click-through rate is a little bit higher. The percentage is a bit lower actually, but you'll still be fine with that because your ad will convert in the long run. And then the landing page conversion rate should be between 10 to 15% of all the traffic. So all the traffic that goes to your landing page for an open event, 10 to 15% should be converting to a registration. Otherwise, you know that you have some work to do on either the copy and the creative or the layout of your landing page. Great. Does anyone have any questions? I'll give you 2 minutes to type any questions of their meta ads. Does your agency give you a monthly report? Do they make this clear for you? Do you really understand if your ads are working or not? Just let me know in the comments, and I'm going to give you just 2 minutes for the stream to catch up and for you to ask any questions. I'll just check the comments now. Okay, so let's move on to SEO. We'll take a deep dive into how to know if your SEO is actually effective or not. The first thing that we want to do with SEO is to make sure that we are ranking for Google first. So I used to have a principal that loved Yahoo or Bing search. I can't remember which one, but he'd always check the results on like Yahoo, and it's very difficult to rank specifically for a search engine. But Google is literally, I think it's 98% of the market is Google. So you can't go wrong by focusing on your Google results first. Now, the first thing that schools should be aware of when it comes to SEO is that you need to make sure that you're looking at regional search volume results. Okay, so in Google Search Console, you actually need to add a filter to show you the numbers for Australia only. Unfortunately, in the Search Console, you can't get any more granular than that, like for a city or a locality. But that's okay. Make sure that you have Australia checked. And then when you're looking at the numbers and saying, like, for example, private schools would be a very difficult keyword for you to rank for because it's Australia wide. So you're looking at Australia wide. So make sure that you're aware of that when looking at the numbers. And so private schools, Brisbane, for example, would be a much easier keyword for you to rank for, and you'd expect for yourself to be in the first 3 positions. But then private schools, you'd be okay with being on the first page, like the positions 1 to 10, because you know that you are competing for traffic around Australia, and not everyone in Australia can actually attend your school. So there's not much value for you in getting a lot of that traffic unless they're local. So Google will automatically adjust your search results for local traffic. So also be mindful of that. The next thing that we need to focus on with our SEO is that SEO is not just driving numbers to your website. It's about the usability of your site and converting more of those visitors into actual enrollments. And so we combine our SEO services with website updates, user conversion rate optimization. We are fixing technical errors on your site that may cause like a slow load speed or like mobile friendliness. And so if you have an agency that's helping you with SEO and they are just focusing on that new blog post to target a new keyword and they're not actually looking at how many of those people are going through to inquiry, then you probably have an incomplete service there and they're just ticking a box and giving you a number that sounds good, but it's probably not that good. Yeah. Okay. So when you are doing keyword research, I want you to, first of all, make sure that there's actual volume for that keyword. So the way that there's keyword research tools that you can use, a few of them are paid, but if you want to get a feel for where your website is currently, what your website is currently ranking for and where your positions are, Google Search Console is a great tool. Now, we just recently had a new client that we deep dived into their Google Search Console for, and we found that they were ranking for only branded keywords. There was not one source of traffic that was beyond the branded keywords. So for your SEO strategy, you want to focus on non-branded keywords. And I mean keywords that don't have your school's name in it. So like private schools, Brisbane, independent schools, boarding schools, scholarships, those keyword categories are what you are going to want to focus your SEO strategy on. And the next thing that you want to do, if you are write out a list of the keywords that you want to rank for, and then highlight the ones that you think would have commercial intent behind them, meaning that people are actually looking to enroll in a school. So always go for like private schools near me, or boys' schools or boarding schools in this area versus, term dates, college calendars. Even the fees one is, from my experience, the fees is more people doing fees research and not actually wanting to enroll in your school specifically. So focus on the commercial intent keywords first. The next thing to watch out for in terms of intent is to have a search the actual keyword that you want to rank for and have a look at what context of content comes up. So are they all blog posts or are they school enrollments pages that are coming up or home pages of other schools? So for example, if someone searches rugby programs, be aware of the different kind of context that keyword could be used in, and it may not all be school related. And so you'll just want to be very careful to be specific about the keywords you rank for. I would, when starting on my SEO strategy, I would rank for long tail keywords first. So long tail keywords are keywords that have more words within them. And then, so private boys' schools in Sydney would be a long tail keyword before you go Sydney boarding schools. Make sure that you're number one for the longer version first before you start a strategy that just goes straight for the jugular and tries to get those big keywords. The next thing is also to focus on low competition keywords, and so you can see that in keyword research tools. Yeah, you can have a look at the keywords that have lower competition, and then also focus on non-branded keywords for your strategy. So, questions to ask your agency. So first of all, you'll want to understand what the conversion rate is of your actual traffic. So um, have a look through your Google Analytics, look at the landing pages, and then have a look at what that traffic is actually doing on your site. And if you find like a 3-month period where yes, you've been driving traffic to blog posts, but they're not actually submitting any inquiries, you'll need to address that with your agency. So another thing to ask for, so is there visitor intent? Ask when your agency is suggesting new keywords to you, search that keyword and you tell me whether you see intent behind that keyword of enrollments. If Google results are just showing blog posts and information posts rather than like going through to school websites, it may be that Google understands that keyword doesn't have much intent behind it either. The visitor location. So it seems like a very obvious question to ask your agency, but be aware of where your traffic is coming from. And so it is hard to really segment down exactly where your traffic is coming from, but are they from Australia? And are there any regional, are you going for all the regional keywords first, like suburb names, nicknames for your area, that sort of thing? Ask your agency to really do research on keywords that are going to be location specific for you. The next thing that you want to ask your agency is to give you a structure of your keyword plan. So what I mean by that is that you will have main landing pages that you'll want to drive traffic for. And then you'll have sub pages that support that category. And so what your agency should have is a very clear plan on one keyword per page, and what that main keyword is and what the rank is for that keyword. So that landing page should be number one for private schools Brisbane. And and then within that, they could have another supporting blog post or piece of content for independent schools, all the subcategories of pages. So you'll want to ask them what the big picture strategy is rather than them feeding you one keyword a month and trying to chip away at it without actually having a bigger picture goal or strategy. Another thing for you to ask your agency to look into is to tell you which pages are not driving traffic at all. And you can see this in the landing pages report in Google Analytics. If the page like users for the last 30 days is like between 1 and 5, a lot of that would be bot traffic, and probably that landing page isn't getting any traffic at all. And so your strategy for that would be to repurpose the content, probably to add the content to another piece of content, another page, and to re-optimize it. And so your agency should have a systematic approach for repurposing content that's not doing anything, probably actually hurting your SEO. And that's a good question to ask them. And then the last thing to look at is to look at the mobile friendliness of your site, the user friendliness, the functionality of your website to make sure that there's no errors. And this can easily be checked in Google Search Console. Typically, if there is a page that's like a error, like the URL doesn't work anymore, it'll pop up in Google Search Console and you can fix this. And so just make sure that you are taking a whole approach. You're not just focusing on keywords and content, but your page loads under 3 seconds. It's mobile friendly. It's easy to use. There's no errors or pop-ups in the way that make it hard to use. So yeah, take a whole approach. Right. So benchmarks for you to meet. The page should generally load under 3 seconds for anyone, anywhere trying to load your website, under 3 seconds. Now, we did a page speed report the other day, and I think it was 22 seconds. So we kind of flagged that for our new client as a focus area for them. So you want to look at your domain authority score. So the lower the number there, the better. A school should have a domain authority of around 12, 10 to 12. That would be a good score for you. And then the share of voice. So you can ask your agency, what share of voice do we have compared to our competitors? And they can load all of your local competitors into their SEO software and then say, well, you are getting 20% of the traffic for your area. And so when setting goals with your agency, you should set goals of, I want to get 100 more people a month to my website because of SEO, and I want to increase my share of voice to 25% over the next 6 months. And those are goals that you can kind of work at in a sustainable way. Great. So that's going to be the end of our presentation today. Next month, we decided to break this one up a little bit so we don't just dump a lot of information on you. Next month, we're going to be going into your Google Ads, taking a deep dive into Google Ads because that will be a really big one. And then also analyzing your website results. Now, I've opened up a few places in my schedule for next week. If you do want me to go deep dive into your ad account for you, I'm happy to do that over 20 minutes on a Zoom call. You can just go to the Roberts Digital website and say book a chat and book in a time slot for next week. And let me know in the comments that you'd like me to do an audit of your ad account. I won't ask for access or anything. I'll just jump in a Zoom call. You can open up the numbers and I can help you kind of analyze what's happening there and give you a few questions that you should be asking. So you can do that. I've also put the link in the description below. And then keep an eye out for next month where we'll go into this conversation further. Thank you, everyone. If you haven't done so already, if you could like the video, subscribe to the channel. It helps a lot. And if you want to leave a comment about what you found useful, that will help me for my future content planning as well. Thank you so much.